up, Internet Land? Hopefully you guys are well.
But it do what it is.
Somehow we've managed to drink an entire half a bottle of scotch. Will we finish it? That is the question. Oh boy.
Thank you once again, Rochelle, for sending this beautiful whiskey. I let her know we were drinking it, and she said, "Here's to no chasers." And this is one of the smoothest whiskeys I've ever sipped before, really.
Yeah, it's really good. We were
don't need a chaser at all.
Delightfully surprised.
Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, double cask.
Yeah, that's what got us through the last 2 episodes.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully you guys are doing well. Thanks for joining us. It's hump day. We're back. We're doing live readings. Those of you guys who would like to get a reading, there's a QR code right down here. You can scan that. It's going to take you to our PayPal. $20 for 1 card, $40 for 3 cards. I don't even know. Now we're doing them together.
$50 for astrology.
$50 for astrology. If you have an astrology related question, we're doing astrology and tarot because people seem to want to do both.
Mm-hmm.
How's everybody doing this evening? How are you guys doing?
We're going to start off with the very taboo pick a card sex reading. And it's going to be a 7-pile sex reading. So you're welcome to pick more than 1 pile because some of you are just straight hoes and you get around. And you want to have pride in being a hoe because we're coming into Libra, we're exiting Libra season, coming into Scorpio season. It's a social period. We're in the cuffing season draft before cuffing season, which is actually the winter. I thought it was Libra, but actually it's the winter. But we have the cuffing season draft. First draft round pick was Aries. So yeah, let's see what your sex life is looking like this next couple of weeks. So we do have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3.
And also we have Vanessa and we have Jasmine. And we have April. You guys are all on deck for readings. So we've got you guys. And if you're a level 3 subscriber, if you'd like to cash in on your reading, this is the very first live show that we're doing for the month of October. So you can catch us here tonight. And we will also be back probably somewhere closer to the 26th. So that will be the next live show that we're doing. And if you want to join level 3, you can join level 3 and you can become a member and you can get your monthly reading now if you'd like.
So we got the 3 of Cups. This underlying theme is saying that partying, celebration, if you get invited to go out, you can meet someone at a party or go out with someone and go home with them. So this is really fun. This is going to be tied around festivity. This is going to be forward moving. You might actually come into friends with benefit situations or just really connect more jovially with a partner or a sexual partner. So pile number 1, we got the King of Wands. The King of Wands is going to give you some Leo dick. This is King dick right here. So you could be having sex with a woman who gives you that big dick energy, or it could be a man with literal big dick. So this is definitely going to be passionate captain sex right here. King of Wands is high stimulation, high passion. It's definitely going to be exciting. We have the Tower. This is going to be unexpected whirlwind romance and potentially unexpected pregnancy for some of you. So wrap it up. But if you don't want that kid, but the Tower card, if you don't want to get pregnant, but the Tower card is definitely talking about this is coming. You're not going to see this coming, definitely. Or this can definitely just talk about earth-shattering sex that just breaks you down on a certain molecular level. But it could be a little death. But yeah, so that it doesn't have to be. A Tower isn't always bad. It's just going to really account for something very unexpected that brings upheaval. And in a sex reading, whoo. Yeah, okay. So pile number 3, we have the 7 of Wands. Don't give up. Some of you, the person who you're wanting to have sex with wants you to chase them, or persistence is saying, don't back down. Okay, some of you are connecting with certain people and your persistence is going to be admirable to them, or be a key in having you really break through this. Outside of persistence, this is also you not backing down on a certain connection you have. But this is a card of victory. And like pile 1, this is definitely going to be passionate, but something that you fought hard for. Pile 4, okay, some of you need to have consent forms signed so that you can at least cover the basis that the sex you had was consensual. I know this might be funny to you, but just sign it down and thank me later. Justice card is also talking about maybe some of you might get married after this sex. Maybe you might have sex and then decide to get married in the court of law. Justice is also, agreements so that, some of you may decide, hey, we're having sex, but are we together? Are we friends with benefits? Like, you're going to officially decide on what you are so someone doesn't catch feelings more than they have to. We have the soulmate card, 6 of Cups. Any blockages towards any, previous people you used to know early in life or someone in a past life are going to be overcome. And with the 6 of Cups here, this is a very feel-good sex. For some of you, might be just more kissing and cuddling and minimum sex, but very feel-good, very nostalgic, very deep, very innocent, very pure. We have the Page of Cups. For some of you making babies, this is definitely the pile for you. For some of you, this is new love. For some of you, you're going to be catching new feelings for who you have sex with. So take a much more romantic approach. And, some of you, this could be new feelings that really lead you into the bag. So this as an action step is telling you to share your feelings with someone. You'd be very surprised how they react. And pile number 7, that's so crazy. Pile number 7, I was gonna say you're not getting them, but pile number 7, you probably might just curve sexual opportunities. You might just be like, no, I'm not interested. A lot of you are going to be emotionally contemplating how you feel about the sex you're having so that you can psych yourself to be in the mood. Not that it's bad or anything, but some of you might be caught up on attractions to other people which don't let you really fully meld with this. So the lesson with pile number 7 is don't be so caught up in what could be that you don't take advantage of what's in front of you. And that is our pick a card sex reading. 3 of Cups means this week is going to be amazing. Star card means, your wish might come true. And with the Star card, it's a lot of fun and frolic sexually. So have fun, please. Woo! I do it.
Those of you guys who are just joining us, welcome to our live show. So that was kicking off doing the sex reading for you guys, but we're also doing readings by donation. You can scan the QR code to get in the queue. We're doing tarot and astrology. If you look at the bottom banner, it's going to give you the prices for everything. $50 for astrology readings and $40 for 3 cards, $20 for 1 card. And if you're new to our channel, we're always drinking on the Midheaven podcast. That's what we do. It's meant to be astrology and comedy, socializing current events. And by the time you guys see us, we've already been filming for several hours. So we're just having a good time. We got a couple people who are already in the queue. So let's go ahead and pull those up unless we have any level 3 memberships that would like to get a reading. Let us know. We've got April Fools, Vanessa and Jasmine. So let me pull up your guys' charts. We'll go ahead and start with April. Let's see. April's question is, this is for a live reading tonight. Recently, everything feels so intense. Where should my focus be? Thank you.
Taurus rising.
2:11 a.m. Yep. I'll take this one.
Beautiful. 1990 Goat Squad. I love it.
Cool. Then we'll get Kayla next. Cool.
She said she wants cards?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So everything feels so intense. Well, you've got Saturn that has been retrograding back through your 10th house. So having Saturn also in a fixed sign in an angular house, it's in your 10th house of career, it's retrograding, so believe it or not, it's actually giving you a bit of a break. Once it goes direct here closer to the end of the month and it starts moving forward, it's going to come into the 3rd square. When Saturn hits around 22, 23 degrees, it's going to square your ascendant, so it puts pressure on your body. It's going to also put pressure on your own personal pleasure, your appearance, things like that. And then it's going to put pressure with a square through your descendant at 23 degrees of Scorpio. So believe it or not, even though there is a lot of pressure right now, your chart ruler Venus is in a good placement. It's moving through the sign of Libra. It's coming into trines with your natal Venus. You're finishing up what's been a Mercury retrograde in your 6th. I actually feel like this is a little bit of slice of like things coming down before you get to the end of October, where we are going to see eclipses that will be in the sign of Scorpio and Taurus. So pay especially close attention to the eclipse that's going to be happening on November 8th. That's going to be an eclipse that's around 16 degrees of Taurus, so it is going to put some pressure on your chart. I'll show it to you.
Shout out to the Taurus risings out here establishing their careers.
And that eclipse will technically be in your 12th house, but it's going to oppose planets in Scorpio. It's going to oppose your Pluto, and it's going to square Saturn. So that's about wrapping up like bad habits, scheduling issues, health problems, issues with people within the workspace, coworkers, and things like that. And it's going to square Saturn. So that one's going to have a little bit of a pinch, just briefly. Also, you know, I think that these Saturn squares are a lot more intense for the fixed sign. So people who have, you know, planets pretty much 18 to 27 degrees of Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Leo are really feeling that squeeze. But having like Uranus coming into conjunction with your ascendant, it's going to start sextiling all your Cancer. So it's going to make it easier for you to just like break free, have more spontaneity in your life, be more authentic, communicate better. It's also all coming into trines with planets that you have in Capricorn, especially your natal Saturn. So believe it or not, some of the pressure that you're experiencing is trying to get you to break through and feel like you can have more freedom. I also think that some of the pressure might be coming from the fact that now Pluto is getting up in degrees in Capricorn. It's starting to come into a square with your Mars, which is going to put the pressure on you to like question your belief systems, give you opportunities for travel, be thinking a lot more about you know, finding teachers and gurus and what you're learning or where you're traveling to. So Mars square Pluto can be quite intense, especially when it comes to like relationships with other people. This can be teachers because Pluto rules your 7th house and it's located in the 9th. So you might notice that like, you know, people who are guiding you are kind of putting more pressure on you to become more aware of your subconscious desires and your drive. So I would look into transit Pluto square your natal Mars. I also think that it's quite interesting to see just recently Mars in Gemini has come into conjunction with your natal Venus. That's your chart ruler. Mars and Venus love each other. So as we get to the end of October, Mars is going to retrograde and it's going to come back into conjunction with your Venus. So it tells me it's going to give you more opportunity to find stability financially. It's going to conjunct Venus and trine Saturn. So there's like a sense of like building your self-esteem, bringing in more income, getting more stable, like being able to communicate your values a lot more effectively.
Yeah.
And I also have my Pluto at 15 degrees, and I feel this lunar eclipse that's coming, that's getting ready to oppose Pluto. So generationally speaking, 1989, 1990 have Pluto around 15 degrees. So we're all going to be quite impacted with an eclipse in opposition to our Pluto. Mm-hmm. For you, it's about kind of clearing out things in regards to bad habits or anything that goes to anything that goes with like stuff that's breaking down, delays, you know, challenges, any health related issues, stuff like that's going to start getting kind of cleared out. But the nice thing is it's going to trine out Saturn in your 9th house, and it's going to be quite supportive to some of your natal placements. But yeah, we feel more pressure during eclipse season. You know, we start feeling eclipses about 4 weeks prior to when they hit. So we're definitely in that right now.
I'd say as a late Taurus rising, 2023 is the very last year that we will conclude the 12-year cycle that started first 2010. So consider this chapter 12 of a 12-chapter book, and 2024 is going to kick in chapter 1 for you, which will sneak peek next year. So congratulations, you're ready to just kick off your destiny and unlock your royalty.
Cool. Excited to see what happens there. Who else do we have? You want to take Kayla?
I'll
She's
take
got
Kayla. Yeah.
questions. Then we've also got Emma and Rachel who's joined the queue. Thank you guys.
Emma Revo, nice, and Rachel Parks. So Kayla, we have the 4 of Swords, the 2 of Wands, and the Strength card. So I'm gonna do it like this. Oh, no. I'm gonna do it like this. We'll do it like this. So this is definitely talking about with the 10 of Pentacles. you are securing passive income, greater wealth. Strength card in the past means like first of all, strength card is Leo season in the past. And so this is speaking about how you may not have necessarily seen the wealth that you, especially if you have some minor financial issues, you may not really be in a position to see how much wealth you're securing until near the end of Libra season, because a lot of frustration, strength reverse is sexual frustration, not being able to express yourself sexually the way you want to, feeling kind of stifled, like you don't have enough options to express your sexuality with or passions with. If this is, it doesn't have to just be sex, just stuff you love to do. Two of Wands flips us on its head and makes you realize, wait, you definitely have options. You definitely are now at present. Now that you have a greater idea of this legacy and wealth, you're ready to, and the Four of Wands and celebration, you're ready to step into. What do you want to do with it? What are your plans moving forward? So whereas you might have felt frustrated in the previous past, or this could represent someone who's frustrated, now you're coming into more of what you want because you went through that. And this is going to now come into a lot of peace. Four of Swords in the future is you're coming into mental clarity. You're going to rest. It's going to balance out with Jupiter and Libra as this card. Like a lot of the strength reverse to me looks like you had a lot of excess energy that you weren't able to express. So you're going to be able to release that and rest that. But this Two of Wands is very dynamic. It's Mars and Aries. You're going to move forward very powerfully. And this is going to help you be more clear on what you want to do and how to do it.
Yeah, that full moon in your 7th house was probably quite a doozy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, for her.
Well, absolutely. With Jupiter getting ready to go through. Yeah.
Thank you, April. We appreciate it. All right, cool. So we've got Vanessa. Vanessa's 11/11/88, 11:54 p.m. She says, any message or guidance surrounding love and relationships? Well, you've got a Leo rising, Saturn's retrograding conjunct your descendant. Saturn's been in and out of your 7th house really intermittently this year. It's been facing off with Uranus in your natal 10th house. You have to understand that this is very complex for your chart, right? Leo rising, Scorpio sun, Saturn on the descendant. You don't see many placements like this getting rocked the way that you're getting rocked. So everything in its own time. If we break this down step by step, because relationships in your chart are ruled first by Uranus and secondly by Saturn, you've got Uranus in opposition to your sun right now, okay? Hi, my birthday's 11/11/2. I'm going through that transit. We're in it together. So you've got your 7th house lord transiting in opposition to your sun, which rules your chart. So that does kind of suggest that you're being pulled in different directions. There is this need to release and let go as the South Node eclipses are going through Scorpio of the past, the old you, the old way of being, your home structure, your private life. What you have to gain is with Uranus in opposition to your sun is going more into the public light, focusing more on your career, networking, meeting people, like being more public, which is kind of scary for a 4th house Scorpio sun. On the flip side, you've also got with that opposition challenges in relation to like really stepping into the limelight and kind of being more public and socializing. And then you've got a really complex T-square where Saturn's on your 7th house cusp, squaring your sun. So it's saying there's delays in terms of relationships, specifically because of scheduling issues or work issues or healing issues. And then you've also got Saturn that's in a square with Uranus. So it's saying there's also delays that are going on in relationships because there's more of a focus and an emphasis on your career as the North Node has been going through Taurus. So all year long, to me, it's felt a little landlocked. And when Saturn goes finally through your 7th house cusp again, when it wakes up here pretty soon, and it starts coming out of a square with your sun, you're going to see that like it's been worth waiting. Like come the turn of the year, pretty much from March on, like I think that relationship stuff can really move forward. You're going to also see that Saturn is going to move into Pisces. It's going to get relatively close to your North Node. And when you have positive Uranus transits, you're going to start seeing your relationship life open up, which I do think is going to be spring of 2023. As planets in Aries move through your 9th house, the bigger picture of your life opens up. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you're learning, and it's going to start trining your moon and your natal Uranus. I wonder if you're going to travel, if you're going to take a program, if you're going to learn something, and you're going to end up meeting somebody and connecting in a relationship that's going to be more significant. even though Saturn is leaving Aquarius, Saturn will not technically leave your 7th house still for a number of years. And really the time to watch is going to be when Saturn comes into conjunction with your North Node. This will be in 2024. And once those planets are starting to sit on your North Node, it's really going to be making you realize like what the purpose is of relationships, how you move forward. And you're going to be seeing that Jupiter and Uranus will oppose your sun. So it's going to be like new living situation, new career situation, new relationships. Your whole life is going to kind of turn over. And you're going to realize why you went through the period that you went through in 2021 and 2022, where you had to focus more on developing who you are outside of relationships. So the Saturn-Uranus square has been very complex. It's even more challenging because you're a Leo rising. So I'm like kind of amazed to see all of those transits happening at the same time. Mars will go retrograde in opposition to your moon. And I think that's going to bring a little bit of like, what's going on with my relationships? You know, am I spending more time with friends? Am I kind of getting a vibe for what it is I do want in my love life? Finally, when it does go direct and it comes to the tail end of Gemini in the spring, it will oppose your natal Uranus. And it could be a situation where there's a bit of like you going back and forth, being like, am I friends with this person? Is it something more? Could it be more? What are we? And all of that will square Neptune in the process. So I would just say be mindful that there can be some big question marks in terms of like who you're kind of taking up with, and like friends can become lovers and lovers can become friends. So there's something like that that's kind of going on here. You know what I'm saying? You have anything you want to say?
Well, as a Leo rising, for sure, Saturn is upgrading the status of your partnerships. When Saturn transits the 7th, people either get married, divorced, or go through a business partnership. And Jupiter with the eclipse in your 10th is manifesting a monopoly for you, so you get in a bag. So congratulations. This is I feel like Scorpio suns with Leo risings are becoming married to the game, because your relationships are in your 10th house as a Leo rising, so you're married to your career, which is pretty
And
cool.
as your status grows, you're going to have higher standards for the kind of people that you want to be seen with publicly, including your friendships and your relationships. So it's not just going to be your romantic relationships, it's also going to be your friendships, you know?
Absolutely.
Hopefully that's helpful. Wow, that's a doozy what you're going through. So keep on keeping on. It's going to get a lot easier in the new year. We've got Jasmine. Oh, she's already in there. And we'll add the other two.
Cool.
It's just under Jasmine. Oh, I put her in already. Do you want to just add the other two? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
It's okay, no worries.
Well, one of them is a tarot reading, so I guess it's just one.
Let's see.
Rachel.
So I have Rachel already. Is it Pajama Guy? Because I have Pajama Guy too.
It's
Synastry, please. Well, Pajama Guy is half interested in being... Okay, so this is a new person.
Rachel?
I have Rachel in there. This is a new person. So it's Rachel's coworker.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's her name? I'll just put coworker.
Yeah. And it's January 20th, 89. And that's in Green River, Wyoming. Oh, no, you're putting in her. I already have her in there.
Rachel?
Yeah, I have Rachel already.
That's Rachel.
Yeah.
Okay. Is she Green River?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh.
This is the coworker. 12089 Green River, Wyoming.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
No, you're straight. January 2089?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. And at 2:30 or?
We don't know the time, so just make it like noon and then put the sun on the ascendant. I think it's hilarious that people are coming into the
PM
chat.
or AM?
PM.
PM, okay.
Talking about like not paying for rehab. Bitch, I'm drinking LaCroix. Like, really? Come on. Come on.
Oh, that's hilarious. When you say sun on the ascendant, do you
Liquid
mean...
focus. Yeah, so it'll be solar house.
Solar house, all right, perfect.
Okay, so Rachel is in there.
Oh, Synastry.
Yeah.
Okay. That's solar house, okay.
So Rachel I know she's right there. And then you put it under coworker?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so this is a younger married guy at work that Rachel is fantasizing about. The tea.
Oh, yes, the tea. I had a reading.
Look at Juno on the ascendant.
Yesterday. Ooh. Transiting Juno or natal Juno?
No,
okay.
that's his.
Oh, that's his Juno on her ascendant? Okay, so his Juno on your ascendant means that you are literally the embodiment of what he sees as his wife. Even though the man sees the moon as his wife, the Juno is the commitment, good wife partnership. So that is entirely irrelevant. And then, is that his south node?
Yeah. Outside, the outside chart is his chart.
So his south node and Juno together, that's deep.
Mercury conjunct Vertex, Pluto, Saturn.
And they square, the nodes
Oh, they have a Mars-Venus conjunction.
Node square, moon Gemini, and then moon...
The Synastry is really good. Look at the Jupiter-Venus conjunction.
Yeah, that is really good. Moon opposite... His moon isn't exactly opposite the sun, but close enough. And then, so sun in Aqua, moon Cancer.
What really intrigues me is that his Juno sits on your ascendant, so it can basically say that you guys are really good in terms of partnerships.
Yeah, it's exactly.
And his north node's conjunct your descendant. So that's like a magnet. Like it brings you guys together. You guys have Mars and Venus within 3 degrees. Soulmate
indicator and irresistible attraction.
His Venus is conjunct your Jupiter. His Mercury is conjunct your Vertex. Mercury is your chart ruler. Like, do you guys like flirt?
And then his DC is on her Saturn. So he's a karmic. In that your karma is on his DC. So there's a karmic lesson that this eclipse. That's why you're getting this reading, because the eclipse is bringing his DC and rising to where you are, you literally as a sun in Taurus reflect his personality.
I love how his Pluto opposes your sun.
Yeah.
Because that represents like kind of, it's like a crow, like something shiny that you just like want to obtain. That's what it is, though. Like, when you have, especially for Tauruses, it's really hard for Tauruses to not acknowledge that Pluto opposition because it represents something that's, like, super hot and sexy and, like, tempting that, like, is taboo or something that you can't have.
For example, like, Pluto and Sagittarius is who might be too young for Gemini suns. That's taboo. I shouldn't even have said that, but... I love that you said that.
Or cultural differences.
Or cultural different races.
Language differences, yeah.
Actually, there's a lady from the UK who has that with me, and she's a different culture and race. So, her Pluto's opposite my sun. So, and she's like 7 years younger than me.
Also, I think when you're looking at it from the Taurus-Scorpio aspect, because Taurus is like so earthy and like kind of grounded and like really practical.
Yeah, stubborn.
Like looking at it from the Pluto perspective is kind of like something that's like scary. Like you're afraid of like
with
the connection.
Saturn too.
Yeah.
So Saturn could be you resisting it but also wanting it and finding the opposition. So, and then you obviously have the nodes there if you're born 84. So no, your nodes are in Gemini. Oh, so you got the Destiny Soul. That's awesome. Yeah, it goes in there after. That's amazing. I mean, just seeing how what we need to be clear on him as a Taurus rising, this eclipse is activating our relationship. And then Jupiter is going to retrograde back into your 7th house. So you've been upgrading your partnerships before Saturn next year puts you in a marriage or business partnership, so, or divorce. But, you know, really, really interesting that you are in the epicenter of this eclipse. So I think this relationship is going to lead you to the next one or be significant for you.
Especially because you had an eclipse that was very close to your sun, right? In the spring, it was like around 10 degrees. So now there is a solar eclipse that's coming 7th house to your sun, which is where his Pluto is. And you're going to be having a lunar eclipse around 16 degrees that's going to be right on top of your sun, which is in opposition to his Pluto. So it's bringing this whole, like, am I going to give in to temptation? Is there going to be something going on here? For that, I would really look at Lilith. And the fact that your Lilith opposes his Lilith, the fact that your Lilith opposes his Juno. Where is his Lilith?
His vertex is on your vertex is on his sun, so he triggers your fate.
Where is his Lilith? Why am I not seeing it? Oh no, it's in Virgo.
So you embody his Lilith too, so he finds you kind of erotic.
Yeah, South Node, Juno, and Lilith
Your
all in Virgo.
wifey and mistress.
He's gonna have a connection to that. But I think that's really interesting in his chart is he's got Venus in an opposition to his moon. So there is what he likes, and then there's what he's married to. Right? Because the moon, whenever you see like oppositions and squares between the moon, it'll do that, right? In a man's chart.
It can complete it, but I think it's like what he wants versus what his mom feels or conditioned him to feel. He should, I don't know, something like that. But as an Aquarius, he's not going to be the most conscious of these dynamics. And Pluto's going to go over his sun. So a lot of this is you facilitate. You could be the more woke one in the connection where he's too logical and you help awaken him.
Also, yeah, because as an Aquarius, the sun rules your 7th house, just traditionally speaking.
Yeah, that's true.
Depending on his ascendant. So Pluto coming into conjunction with his sun is running some potential risk of, is he possibly getting involved in some kind of like taboo relationship or something that can be jeopardizing the marriage, because Pluto can be temptation. And for an Aquarius rising, Pluto rules the 10th house, so that's about somebody at work who can be very Plutonian, and you kind of are with Pluto with Saturn in opposition to your sun.
And then your Pluto squares his sun, so a lot of this is very extreme and karmic. Very amazing. Very interesting.
Good luck, Rachel. There's definitely a connection there that's hard to miss.
Yeah.
Especially with Mars and Venus. Those eclipses next spring are going to hit that.
Post-eclipse will straighten it out for sure.
Okay, so we've got Emma that has a single card. And
We did Jasmine already?
Let's see. Did we?
I remember you mentioned her. I just don't know if we did her.
Oh, no. It is time. Yeah, she's in there.
Okay. So you didn't do her, though?
No, not yet, but she is in there. There we go. She says, 527.92, is this the right time for business expansion or dating?
Well, you're Cancer rising, and I swear to God, I can't believe you just asked this. You're Cancer rising, and all through 2023, Jupiter is going to go through your 10th house of business, and Jupiter's expansion. So this is clearly business expansion. But Pluto is in your 7th house. So because dating is the 5th house and the South Node is there, it's going to unlock and clear any blockages you have towards dating. My advice is to focus more on the business expansion. Both are going to happen, but what's more relevant for you is textbook business expansion. Expansion Jupiter, business in your 10th house. So this is definitely going to push you forward and evolve your soul as an Aries moon. The soul evolution is going to push forward your Mars and Aries as you're going to take the necessary actions to individually push forward your career. Now that Jupiter through your MC has evolved your belief on what you can accomplish. So everything you're not aware of the rest of this year will let you know what direction to take, and you're going to move in that direction all of 2023. April of 2023, 22-degree conjunction with Jupiter in your 10th is straight breakthrough. And you're a Libra sun, so it's going to evolve your partnerships. So it's like business is literally linked with relationships and can lead to dating.
I kind of respectfully disagree.
Oh, shit. As far as a career expansion or the
No,
dating?
In terms of timing.
Oh, okay,
In terms of timing. And here's why. Because her annual...
She's better at timing. I'm better at more just saying what it is.
The annual... Okay, so a couple things. One is annual perfection year 7 is what she's in. Because she's 30 right now.
Yeah.
So it's all about your 7th house. So Pluto just went direct in your 7th house. You're becoming aware of what relationships are powerful in the sense of helping you grow and expand, and that can be professionally or clients or other people you collaborate with, but also like realizing what relationships are toxic and not good for you and they hinder you from being able to focus on your career. 2, you're in your Saturn return right now. Saturn is retrograding and it's going to conjunct your natal Saturn over the next few weeks, so it's like a really important lesson about change and transformation of your friendships, Aquarius. and your relationships, because Saturn rules your 7th. The problem is that Saturn is in a square to Uranus right now that's hanging out in your 11th house. So I would say, like, you can't fuck your friends. You can't have undefined relationships. You need to be really mindful that, like, not all of your friends are meant to be super close to you.
True.
I realize I'm saying this to somebody who's Sun, Venus, Mercury, and Gemini, but whatever. I said it. And also I would say that when you see the Mercury retrograde that's coming around the end of December, the beginning of January, which is going to be in your 7th house, that's really important because you're in a 7th house year. Mercury will retrograde, it will conjunct Pluto, and you're going to realize what relationships need to go and which ones can be transformed. And that's all going to trine the North Node. That's going to be still in your 10th house, Placidus. 2 is like, yeah, career stuff is happening. Like, that is happening. But you're not going to see more of that happen until Mars is out of its retrograde and it's direct next year, February-ish. And 2, when the eclipses start happening in the spring and April, you're going to have North Node eclipses in your 10th house, and then Jupiter is going to be in your 10th house, and it's like February, March, April is more career time. But right now there can be a lot of like things going on with your friendships or your relationships that are affecting something that's going on in regards to, your career or vice versa. Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
they're definitely related.
The problem is that you have had Uranus in your 10th house and it's retrograding back and it's still squaring Saturn. So that's why you're like, is it career? Is it relationships? Which one is it? Relationships that stand in the way of your career aren't going to be able to hang around, basically. Mm-hmm. But because it's a 7th house year, I think that there is like a lot going on in regards to your relationships.
And as you break through more in your career, it'll open up more potential in your relationships.
Yeah. Hopefully that's helpful for you.
So we could do Emma right now. I could just pull a card
for
her.
What's up, Echoist? Okay, so this is for Emma. And Emma says, 1 card, please. I hooked up with someone this weekend. I literally met him out of nowhere. He seemed super interested, but communication is inconsistent. Any clarity about if this could be an ongoing thing?
Communication is inconsistent because Mercury is opposite Virgo, but now that it's in Libra, it's going to be a lot more consistent and empowered. So you're going to see this move forward as it goes through the shadow period. We do have the 5 of Wands and the Knight of Swords, the 9 of Swords. So what was her question? Is what?
She was asking if it's going to be like a thing because communication's been inconsistent and if this could like be something, basically.
I think despite these cards here, it can be something. The 9 of Swords is just mediating through anxiety, but we do have the Star. So there is going to be hope. 5 of Wands is maybe you have anxiety over knowing that there's competition. Maybe he might be talking to or seeing other people, or maybe you might have evidence that there's just this struggle with clashing personalities where you feel like he should be communicating with you in a certain way, but because of his personality, he's not, and it's getting in the way, and vice versa. So despite how things may look, because the 9 of Swords shows there's anxiety around this, you're going to come into signs and synchronicities that give you more hope. It's just coming through this 5 of Wands energy that seems chaotic on the surface, but isn't as it seems. What do you think about that?
If it was 5 of Wands and the 9 of Swords.
Yeah.
5 of Wands, I feel like, is competition. It's being like, oh, is there somebody else going on? What's happening? But it can represent worrying about whether or not that he's going to like make more of an effort to kind of connect with you. But the fact that you pulled the Star card is like kind of saying like he's going to want to get together and possibly be like, hey, do you want to hang out like with other people, like with a group of people, and like kind of vibe it out and see if there's a connection there, like socially. Not alone, it would be with others. And
he might see something in you when you least expect it, which gives more hope that he likes. And with the 9 of Swords, you may not even know that he's into you. But I don't want to act like you're just totally pessimistic either.
Well, the 9 of Swords can also be about like worrying about something that like isn't
really there. It's
kind of like, oh, I'm like stressing out over something, and then he's like going to end up calling you.
Right. Yeah, literally. Yeah. So that's beautiful.
So we've got Elizabeth, and she is 11/14/84, St. Paul, Minnesota, 1056. She says, any insight on career work that looks prominent coming up? Things seem to be delaying.
As a Cap rising, I love that. And her career is literally activated with the 10th house Libra. That's beautiful.
Well, Mercury's been going retrograde in your 10th house, you know, and it's now coming out of the shadow mid-month. And of course, as Pluto is coming into kind of conjunction with your Mars, and you're going to see planets that are moving to the late degrees of Libra, the tail end of October is going to feel a little intense. I think the delay is purely just the Mercury retrograde. And I think the fact that now that it's going to go direct and all those planets, even in spite of the square to Pluto and Mars in your sign, it's going to start trining Saturn. So if you've been waiting on like agreements or anything in regards to like money and, you know, business stuff, it just takes one really strong Venus transit for you to have something break through. And I'm looking at when the Sun and Venus come together towards the 20th, Venus is going to pull ahead of the Sun. It's going to square your Mars, so you're going to get really kind of emotional, and you're going to be like, which end is up? Like, well, how is this going to go? And then you're going to see that there is a solar eclipse on the 24th that's going to be on your Pluto in the 10th house. So you're going to get your answer here pretty soon. I'm curious what it is that you're waiting on, because a solar eclipse conjunct Pluto is basically saying like you're going to find out which direction things are going to fall in terms of your professional goals, or if something's going to actually come through. I can't imagine that solar eclipse exactly conjunct Pluto involving Venus, which is your career lord.
Yep.
What do you think? If she's asking about what's going to happen career-wise.
Well, you know, Pluto over the next 6 months is going to clear your AC. So this, you know, this Libra season is activating a 6-month pipeline that's going to facilitate a move. So your home space and how you operate in your career is more important right now. And they'll trigger the direction you take your career. So just be open to unexpected changes moving forward. Any detail you don't know now, you will know by April, where you'll be more clear on what direction you're moving in. So yeah.
I would say an eclipse on the 24th is a time to pay attention. I feel like you have some protection because Venus is involved in that eclipse, and Venus conjunct Pluto can be big wealth and opportunities for like really establishing yourself and your reputation. But it's changing because Pluto is transformation, and the South Node is going to hit that. So like if it's going to break one way or the other, if something does break down, it's breaking down because something new wants to emerge.
Oh, my bad to interrupt too, but to answer your question, I just saw that she has Saturn on the South Node. So like the nodal eclipse is manifesting independence and creativity. You're using the support you have from your community to manifest your own independent self-employment. So you're actually coming, regardless of any anxiety or worry or you know, not sure, by Taurus season with the eclipse, you will have manifested something you do that you love to do that you make a living off of, or you could be independent off of. So, and
Saturn through your second house squaring your natal Saturn Sun South Node is like, this is where you develop the skills and the talent.
Yeah.
Like, and it's about being able to break through and go like, I am good enough, or I am charging for my services, or like whatever. Like, that's a big breakthrough, but you may have to wait until the square, because the square has not perfected to your natal Saturn yet. And so to have Saturn square your Sun, there's delays all year long. To have Saturn square your nodes, it's saying you have to wait and see how things pan out and take the time. And Saturn square Saturn is you're working with the last 7 years of like what kind of karmic stuff you've been kind of building towards, or what you've been working towards. And I think with the South Node in your 11th house, like that's basically saying like you have to not give a fuck what other people think. Like there is a need to be like, I don't care what other people are saying. I don't care what other people are doing, which is hard for you because you have the Sun and Saturn there, which is saying in the past you've been so overly committed to groups and other people and friends and other people's goals, that this period of Saturn going through Aquarius, squaring all of this, is reinforcing the fact that you have to get going with your 5th house goals. Jupiter, Uranus are going to hit this North Node in Taurus over the next 2 or 3 years. Ruled by Venus, this is about pleasure. Where do you get to be the star? Where are you going to launch your own business? Where are you going to create art? Where are you going to become self-employed? It has to be about you, right? It has to be about you. And all of these secret talents that are merging, which we can see you have a lot of with Uranus, Neptune, Venus, and Jupiter in your 12th house, you're super tapped in, super psychic. You have a vision for things. And it doesn't matter if you want to take up professional gambling with that North Node in the 5th. It doesn't matter if you want to have a kid or launch your own business or take a side hustle to the next level. These things are going to happen as Uranus and the North Node hit. Uranus and Jupiter hit your North Node. There's been eclipses here too. So you've been rocked by the eclipses over the last year because they've been hitting your South Node and your North Node because it's been reminding you of where your North Node is and that you really have to kind of come into that.
Yeah.
So we've got Mariana. She is June 9th, 1990.
Gemini. Oh, Mariana, you were born 2 days before me. This is going to be good. I love that. June 9th.
And that was at 4:50 p.m.
4:50.
I can't even begin to pronounce this. I'm going to botch it.
Bukhara, Uzbekistan. Okay. I was born June 11th, 1990.
You're welcome. Will I finally see a bigger breakthrough with my business with these eclipses?
Okay, so Mariana, first thing I want to say is you're a Scorpio rising. So you and me, I'm a Taurus rising, you're a Scorpio rising. You and me were born 2 days apart from each other. So your question hits home because just like you want growth in your business, I want growth in my business, but we're going through the same thing. We just have opposite we just have opposite personalities. And the reason why that's so key is you're definitely in a position to break through considerably in how much you're winning here. Your business is most definitely going to grow. But whereas with me, with the Taurus rising as an individual, I'm breaking through in how I establish my career legacy. As a Scorpio rising, as a social personality, you're breaking through in how you build more community and how you really express more of the philosophy.
Oh, you know what? It's different because, she wrote June 9th, 1990. She's saying, I think I'm a Libra, 27 degrees.
4:50 p.m. is Scorpio rising. So Libra rising is close enough. 6 degrees means it's a time discrepancy. So she might have used another chart system that put 27 degrees.
Okay, so we're using Placidus. Did you use a different charting system?
If she's 4:50 p.m., so if she's 27, it would have to be like 4 p.m. or earlier than that.
Did we change the
time zone? That's
time zone?
Why.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Time zone, Placidus. Let's see. Hold up. We'll make sure that's right. No, it didn't make a difference.
Yeah, 6 degrees.
Huh. I got my chart read. Interesting. Well, we're using...
Oh, our favorite cousin is June 11th.
Huh.
Yeah, no.
It could have just been a different housing system. We're using the exact information. And then the time zone doesn't change. 4:50 p.m. Huh. I mean...
Thankfully, it's close enough to that if it was last decan, like 27 degree Libra, it still applies with first decan Scorpio that you have here because you have a progressed chart and you are progressed Scorpio. But yeah, we definitely want to make sure you have it right to the degree. Thankfully, it's close enough to where last decan Libra is first decan Scorpio because the majority of the first house is Scorpio. So this period is having you literally transform your partnerships. You're manifesting partnerships. As a Taurus rising, connecting with Scorpios and Scorpio risings who are bringing this in, But what's very key, I love that, you know, all of our energies with you and I are basically the same. You're moon in Capricorn, I'm moon in Capricorn. So my friend, email me at thepeacedealer@gmail.com, because clearly you are actually a Scorpio rising. I don't know who read your chart before, but they lied to you. I'm sorry, you're not a Libra rising. You are a Scorpio rising. So personally, email me. I'm going to send you an alien construct. I want to talk to you personally. I think you and I need to keep in touch, because you and I have Moon, Saturn, and Uranus in Gemini. It's just you have it as a much more mature personality, a much more social personality. So these are incredible supernatural skill sets. You're going to break through into your career like never before, but what's very important is how you're establishing this autonomy of focus in your home, so that this will provide you the foundation through technology and how things are advancing to move forward. So don't necessarily worry about career. After Saturn finishes out of Aquarius, Candace and I, and you who have Saturn in Capricorn, our Saturns are going to blossom in Pisces, and all of us are going to see our career shift to the space it's supposed to be. This is 5th house for you in Pisces, so this is going to secure self-employment and independence. So embrace the anxiety, because the eclipse chapter from Scorpio to Taurus will basically transcend you to be more in control of your career and home than ever.
Also, the eclipses aren't what's affecting your career, just so you know.
True.
Whether you're a Scorpio rising or a Libra rising, what's going to affect your career is the Mars retrograde, because Mars is what rules your 10th house. So as you see Mars going back and forth over your sun, which you've had here recently, and it's going to retrograde and it's going to do it again.
Hold on, I want to interrupt you. She said that her moon is in Sag. So that means whoever read your chart, they read the sidereal placements.
Oh, so they were reading Vedic.
They were reading Vedic, that's why.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're reading Vedic, which all the signs are going to be off by one.
Yeah, or 23 degrees.
One sign, usually.
They gave you an inaccurate chart, that's why.
Well, if they read sidereal, whatever. I mean, if
Then
you
your
know
sun will be in
how to
Taurus.
find the accuracy within the degrees, any closed system really can work. But for
Right,
Western
that's true.
astrology,
That's
you're
true.
Scorpio rising, Sun in Gemini, Moon in Capricorn.
Yeah.
So one thing I would say is like the Mars retrograde, by degree, it's reactivating your sun. So whether it's in Vedic or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like there was eclipses on your sun these last 2 years. There's been retrogrades on your sun. Now you're having a Mars retrograde on your sun. So think back to what you were setting up at the end of September.
I'm gonna pull up your chart on a different chart system and see if we get the same thing, just so we get clear, because she's adamant that the person who read her chart wasn't off. So
They might have used another system. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah. But let's just be sure really quick.
I can do it in mine too, just to make sure. But I mean, let's see. .50 p.m. Yeah, this is coming up as Libra. So why is that one coming up different?
It could be a time zone difference.
Maybe, I wonder if there was, I wonder if they've switched time zones.
Oh.
Because if there was a time zone switch, like if they like got on or off of like a time zone switch, then yeah.
So here's the thing. So basically everything that we've said so far
Still, your sun's in
is
the 8th
still
house.
accurate. Yeah, nothing changes
Yeah.
about anything we said. Is her moon in Sag? 29 degrees Sag?
Yeah, so watch.
So-
So if we do this,
Everything will be the same, just subtle nuances will be a little bit different for you.
let's see. Oh no, that's by the day. So it's June 9th, right?
Yeah.
So if we were to do this,
So in my chart, it also gives her a Libra rising. 27 degrees Libra
27.
rising. 29 moon in Sag.
So still,
interesting.
Mars is going to go retrograde over your sun. Your
She's still in
sun
the
rules
8th
your
house.
10th house.
Yeah.
So you want to look at what was happening at the end of September, and you want to look at what's happening in the beginning of December. Then again, when Mars comes back and it hits your sun in the new year.
The only subtle difference is, or please go ahead.
The only subtle difference is Venus is your chart lord, and now
Right.
your moon is at 29 degrees of Sag, which I would take 29 degrees Sag moon over a Capricorn moon any day. No offense.
No, it is. Yeah, it's better for your energy, because as a Gemini, it's gonna, and Libra rising, it's not gonna fight you every fucking step of the way. So, I want to keep in touch with you just so we can be 1990 friends together. But yeah, the subtle difference as a Libra rising is you won't be stuck in the Scorpio stubbornness or intensity, while you'll still have that value. And this eclipse is going to be more focused on manifesting the money you need to invest. So this will help transform the career direction. But basically everything else we said will still be somewhat.
Yeah, look at the Mars retrograde dates. So it'll be end of September, beginning of December, end of February. As Mars hits your sun each time, it's activating eclipses, which is going to open up your 10th house in regards to your career. Has nothing to do with the eclipses. Has everything to do with the fact that the retrograde is activating your 10th house lord.
And Miriam, just email me at thepeacedealer.com at gmail.com and I got you.
Let's see, are we missing anybody? I think somebody else snuck in.
Elizabeth and Brandon.
I think I might have Elizabeth. I'm not sure. Let me see. November 9th. Yeah, I have her.
For North Node, we both have 8-degree North Node in Aqua. So once Pluto goes into Aqua, our destinies are just going to kick off so much more powerfully.
So November 9th, 89, 5:09 a.m. in Fullerton. She says, talk to me about eclipse season. Solar eclipse on my ascendant exact. Lunar eclipse on my sun. I'm already feeling the meltdowns happening. I have no idea what to expect or prepare for. My career is especially murky and confusing. Candice, congrats on being booked out so far. I wish I could get with you before eclipse season. I could use a full reading, but I'll take what I get right now. You guys are the best. I got you. Oh boy. Okay. First of all, I'm happy to do the reading and we can help you, but if you want to send me an email, I will make time for you and I'll try to get you in before the eclipses. So send me an email. It's Candace, Candace, at beyondtheveiltarot.com. If you shoot me an email, I will make time for you and I'll get you in for a session before the eclipses because, yeah, you actually really need it. Okay, so let's start with the obvious. You have a solar eclipse on your ascendant, Bloop. Right? What does that mean? The sun rules your 10th house of career. It's also your personal identity. Leo is about the ego. It's also about creativity. 2, on your ascendant, it basically means you need to pay attention to your body, okay? So Scorpio ascendant, obviously change, transformation, meltdowns do come with these eclipses. It's very important for you to be paying attention to your body a couple days before, a couple days after. Don't overdo it. Don't do anything risky. Don't do anything dangerous, especially because you do have Mars on your ascendant, okay? So Mars is your chart lord. So this eclipse is not just on your ascendant. It is also going to be in conjunction to your chart lord, Mars. What does Mars rule? Your 6th house of health, accidents, anything in regards to the head, okay? So I think of like concussions, migraines, head-on accidents, cuts, burns, lacerations, all of that stuff. That eclipse can literally bring something on. It doesn't have to happen that day. No. You want to pay attention to when planets are squaring that in Aquarius season and opposing that when we have eclipses that are going to be bookended. That will be taking place in spring of next year. You're going to have a solar eclipse in Taurus oppose your Mars. Well, your Mars is at a 3. So I think this is about possibly what you're eating, what you're putting in your body, what you're absorbing, what you're valuing, what you're spending money on. And it's also about kind of like how solid your body is in general. 2, then you're going to have another eclipse that's going to be taking place. So this is the first one. I guess I should say that the solar eclipse on your ascendant, it's setting up for what will probably be either 6 months to 2 years worth of like a total transformation on your body, okay, or within your body. It can also be about your reproductive organs, your hormones, your blood, all of that stuff, especially because it's hitting Mars. I feel like anybody who has this much Scorpio energy, God bless you, we're born 2 days apart, you need to have an outlet.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So you're born 2 days apart, and then the person...
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, except I'm a Libra rising, so I couldn't imagine having all this Scorpio on my ascendant. I have a
Right.
friend of mine who has all this Scorpio on her ascendant, and it's a lot. I would say, like, look into, like, self-defense classes or, like, martial arts or, like, kickboxing, or if you want to get into boxing. That might be really smart because it is activating your Mars and anything in regards to, like, self-defense tendencies. I also feel like this is about health and wellness because, like I said, it's activating your 6th house Lord. Now, Venus is going to be involved in the eclipse, so the fact that you have an eclipse conjunct Venus tells me that you're setting up what's going to be 6 months of, like, more self-love, making changes to your body and how you look and, like, that kind of transformation. Solar eclipses on a woman's chart on the ascendant possibly can be precursors and indications of pregnancy that is coming. Well, you've got Neptune coming into conjunction with your moon. You've got Jupiter retrograding into conjunction with your moon. You've got Saturn going into your 5th house. Could it be that there's a new version of you emerging and then, you know, you look different, you feel different, you act different, you attract somebody, you fall in love? Totally. But to me, between having, you know, several major outer planets that are going to sit in your 5th house, which can be an indication of pregnancy in a solar eclipse, like, you've been warned, okay? Then we've got the second eclipse that's going to come in around the 8th of November. That's going to be at 16 degrees, and that 16 degrees eclipse is going to be in exact opposition to your Pluto, change, transformation, anything in regards to your personal power. And it's also going to be in opposition to your Sun, once again, your 10th house Lord, anything in regards to your career, your public image, your responsibility. What can I say? I mean, these eclipses are very personal for you, right? So to have an eclipse on your ascendant with Venus is a fresh start. It's bringing more people to you who can help you when you need more love and support.
Yep.
The lunar eclipse in your 7th house square Saturn is basically talking about what needs to change within your home to better facilitate and bring in a new home base. What needs to change within your relationships to be able to kind of give you the stability that you need. If you're in a relationship, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be relying a lot on your partner with these eclipses because it looks like there can be some crazy stuff going on with you that brings up a lot of emotions and you need support. The second eclipse that's taking place in November is most likely more going to affect other people, and it's about how you're kind of working with others. My guess is as good as yours because I have the same placements. So I think in your case, it's more about the breakdown and the removing of the armor because it's all in your 1st house where you have Mars, Pluto, and Mercury. And, like, God bless you, but those planets in your 1st house is going to make you act like an Aries where you're going to be like, why? What's your problem? What do you want? Like, what's your angle? Like, there's a sense of defensiveness that kind of comes up here. And you've seen how the South Node eclipses, they're breaking that down. They're trying to soften. And they're trying to get you to be more open to what the 7th house has to offer you. So you're going to meet new people. People will partner with you. New counselors come in. New potential clients if you have, like, a marketplace type business. And Saturn in the 4th is going to square. So you have to put your head together with another person to solve a kind of a home or a family dilemma. Equally, I would say email me and let me know what happens because I'm curious because my chart's going to be a shit show from these eclipses already. I'm already relying on my partner. He's a Pisces, and he's being such a support for me already. Okay, well, that's going to continue. The nice thing about being a Scorpio rising with these eclipses is the first one brings your partner in to support you, the solar eclipse. The second one has you giving support to your partner. But all with the squares to Saturn makes me wonder what's going on with the family, what's going on with home. Do you like where you're living? Does somebody need to move? Something like that is coming together. And, like, for a Scorpio rising chart, Saturn in the 4th has drudged up a lot of, like, family issues and, like, past issues and things relating to your past and how it affects the future of your relationships. And if you have a partner that can help you through it, then it can be really positive. Bloop. Good luck.
Next, we have Brandon Walton, who wants a card.
What's up, Brandon?
Shout out to you. Definitely Emperor in the building. So the card that we have for you, Brandon, with the Queen of Wands influence, Sun, and Magician is the Knight of Swords. So this is you. I don't know if you asked a question, but this is you definitely moving forward. It looks like you might be leaping forward towards someone who challenges you, someone who might be not out of your league, but just out of your comfort zone, who's going to help you transition from knight to king. And so this is someone who sees you. I love how the queen is looking at the knight. She sees your potential, but she knows she's the queen on the throne. So she's not going to make a move towards you. She's going to inspire you to leap towards her. And despite how daunting things may be, you definitely more than are capable of handling this queen. You just have to move forward with the integrity of your heart. You want to see this as an ascending passage. He didn't ask anything, right? It was just a...
Oh.
Yeah. So this is
well, when I initiate my business in the future, what type would be ideal for me?
Gemini season or moon in Gemini. So this is going to be something that you're going to come up with on the fly. The type of business that will be ideal for you isn't something that you'll be clear on now, but it's something that when it comes through, you're going to just come up with the idea and move forward with it. So this is going to really key around June. And next year after the eclipse, which makes a lot of sense.
The strength card is interesting too in terms of like work.
It could be tied to a creative partner or someone who stimulates you concerning that. Queen of Wands, yeah. So, and this is also success in business. Yeah. So, yeah, good to know. That's Jupiter, Aries, and all that. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the Pick a Card Sex reading.
Yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed it. We've got new podcasts coming out on Monday. Unless you are a level 2 or 3 subscriber, then you're going to get stuff early. Do consider joining our subscriptions. It makes us possible.
Gave me chocolates. My inner child is raving.
I have a big candy bowl, so I let him rate it. We have another eclipse video that's going to be coming out. We're going to talk about the Taurus eclipse. We've also got Scorpio season is coming up soon.
Saucy.
So you guys are going to get a little bit of a preview on that.
Do you want to donate money for us to buy a bottle? We're going to drink it in front of you, so let us know. Okay. All right. It was what it is. Shout out to all the content creators out there changing the game, revolutionizing, being consistent. You doing your part, we doing our part, we all doing our part. And y'all stay blessed as always. And until next time.